Welcome to this yin yoga practice. We're going to focus on the energy of the phoenix today. So if you start just coming into a seated position where you can take a few slow, deep breaths and center yourself. Breathe into your manipura chakra, the chakra in your solar plexus, the chakra that when it's fully opened glows or shines with the light of 1,001 suns. Breathe in and activate your manipura chakra. Activate your solar energy. Activate your power center. Because in order to be powerful, we also have to rest. We have to open the flow. And so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to rest and open the flow of energy. So from here, see if you start to come over onto your hands and your knees. And then walk your knees over to the right hand side of your yoga mat. So your knees are over and away from your yoga mat. From here, and keep your hands where they are, but then sit your hips down so that you're sitting down onto your left hip. Open up your arms wide to the side, so stretch them out into opposite directions. See if you can rest your chest down flat on the mat. You can turn your head whichever side feels more comfortable. From here, take your top leg and extend it straight down, so down towards the center of your mat, and take your bottom leg and extend it straight out to the side or straight out in front of your hip. You are now in fallen warrior. Again, tuning into your breath, tuning into your manipura chakra. So today we will use this class and this practice to reflect on our journey of awakening through the story of the phoenix. And we will do this because awakening, ironically, has as much to do with a descending journey as it does with the ascending journey. The phoenix is a mythical story of rebirth and resurrection. And as you lay here in fallen warrior, you can contemplate the things in life that have brought you to your knees or that have forced you sometimes to surrender and to give up in order to be reborn. We have to die, and the more times you can die in one lifetime, the more times you can be reborn. According to the old stories and myths, the phoenix is a one-of-a-kind bird dressed in a plumage of yellow, orange, red, and gold, corresponding to the colors of fire. And this is why we're doing the myth of the phoenix today as we're working through our manipura chakra. According to legend, the phoenix bird lives 500 to 1,000 years in its life cycle. At the end of its life, the phoenix builds a nest of aromatic branches and spices and uses the sun to ignite a fire and uses his own wings to fan the flames. The mythical phoenix marks its death, plunges itself into the fire, is consumed by its flames and burns into a pile of ashes. And then out of those ashes, a new phoenix is born with renewed youth to live through another lifespan. And so just taking time here in this position, in this fallen warrior, to connect, to be where you need to be inside your body. Listening to your breath and feeling the energy of your manipura chakra. See if you take a big inhale and start to think about making your way out of your fallen warrior. Just think about it. How are you going to move? And then see if you slowly start to bring your hands in underneath your shoulders. Turn your knees in towards the mat. And we're going to come down in a child's pose, and we're going to do a little bit of a twisted child's pose. So when you come with your knees together, then see if you bring your right foot over across your left foot. And then from here, see if you bring both your arms towards the opposite direction. So the foot that's on top, take your arms to the opposite direction and keep your head between your arms. And this way we're really releasing into the lower and middle back, so the back of the manipura chakra. And again, breathe in and out, slow deep breaths. Relax everything. Relax your forehead, relax your jaw, relax your tongue, relax your breath, and relax your mind. I had a yoga teacher for years who used to say, child's pose is great because you can't have an ego when you're in child's pose. Stay here, be here, breathe here. So unlike our egos, the phoenix is more like our higher selves, a beautiful bird that lives forever. In the old stories, there were people who were attracted to the beauty of the phoenix. The sun even claimed the phoenix as his own, and that's why the sun gave the phoenix the ability to live forever. And even though it seemed like a gift, over time, the phoenix grew old, tired, and lost its strength. One day the phoenix said, I can't live this way anymore. And isn't it the same for us in our lives? Just like you, the phoenix knows when it's time for death. Just like the phoenix, we know when things aren't working anymore. When a certain aspect of ourselves that might have worked at one point no longer serves us. There's always a deep inner knowing when some aspect of ourselves is ready to let go, move on, and plan its funeral. When the phoenix recognizes that the time for ending has come, it creates a ritual fire. A ritual is a set of actions performed for their symbolic value and sets us apart from the tasks of everyday life. Generally, rituals and ceremonies are powerful and beautiful. So our yoga practice, our meditations, our journaling, our time spent with ourselves, our ritual spaces and daily ceremonies that take us out of the everyday trudge. And they can be useful to help us navigate this time, this transitional time. Focused on your breath. Stay inside your body. Connect with your manipura chakra and allow yourself to feel everything that you're feeling now. Everything that arises through this practice is perfect. Just get you to start thinking about moving first, just getting right in your head that it's time to move. And then from here, slowly start to bring your hands back into the center. And then come around and we're going to lay down on our backs now. We're going to do a reclining twist. So see if you bring your arms out, so you're creating like a T shape with your arms, hands in line with your shoulders, palms facing up. Lift your bum a little bit and slide your bum over towards the right side and then bring your knees down towards the left. Turn your head and look over towards the right hand. Stay here and allow this twist to work deeply into your body. And from this place, start to feel yourself easing up, releasing all those things held deep inside your organs, inside your body, giving yourself a nice internal massage here. And while you're here, let's ask the question, because the question does come up. Who would actually want to plunge themselves into the fire and invite their own death? Sounds pretty scary when you put it like that, doesn't it? And this fear of death, the fear of endings, runs deep in our whitewashed culture, in the Western consciousness. We live in straight lines, or at least that's the way we're programmed to think about time. But when we come back into understanding time as cycles and spirals, we quickly come to understand or understand that the death process is nothing to be feared. It's something that we do at the end of each yoga practice when we come into Shavasana. It's something that we do every time we exhale, we breathe out. In each of these situations, there's a letting go and a rebirth. We take our next breath into life a little differently. And then so many people are afraid of fire. They're afraid of being burned. Throughout history, fire has caused great devastations, death, and suffering. And again, in this linear Judeo-Christian culture, fire is linked with hell and damnation. And for many of us who remember or who remember, we hold the witch wound in our bodies because female witches were burned at the stake. going to stay here a little bit longer and just allow the body to open up in these places where we often hold so tightly, to open up to this process of being a phoenix, connecting to the energy of the phoenix today. Just making sure that your breath is moving slowly and deeply, and that you're using your breath to really fill up your belly. Use your breath to massage your organs. So then let's start thinking about moving, thinking about coming out of this position. Take your time, really take your time, slowly, carefully start to move. From here we're going to make our way over into Fallen Warrior on the other side. So slowly making your way up onto your hands and your knees. Take your time, it's not a competition with anybody. And then from here, see if you bring your knees over so that your knees are off the mat towards the right side of your mat. Lay your left hip down, open your arms like you're hugging the floor, palms facing down. Extend your top leg straight down and your bottom leg straight out to the side. Fallen Warrior. As we release and open up on the back of the body, let's take some time to contemplate the positive aspects of fire. Like the sun. The fire of the sun gives life, light, and warmth. And the truth about us humans is that we're all solar-powered beings. Fire is an invitation to transformation. You can think about forest fires. Forest fires are necessary for the well-being of the environment because they burn off the old dead material and they stimulate new growth. Forest fires cleanse and purify, and without them the forest would become stagnant and die. Fire is alchemical. It separates the dross from the gold. Fire offers the embers of awareness. And many people fear this process of endings, cleansing, and purification, and they rather avoid struggle and choose stability and safety instead of change. Better the devil you know than the devil you don't, as they say. Most people would rather deal with what's known, even if it's not good, than to risk the unknown. And so regardless, our fire times, our personal fire times, are times of transition, whether they are caused by an illness or an injury, difficulties in our relationship, discontent where we work, difficulties in our finances, the death of someone we love, when we're starting something new or moving to a new country, for example. The good news is there is always resurrection. There is always life after death. Are you ready? Surrender more. You'll be here a few more minutes. Surrender more to this fallen, dying warrior. Give up for a little moment. Surrender yourself to the floor. So allow yourself to start thinking about moving. Think about moving, and then slowly start to pick yourself up from the floor. We're gonna make our way slowly, very, very slowly, into child's pose again. So slide yourself together, pull yourself in towards the middle, and then slowly bending your knees and putting your butt on the back of your heels. And we're gonna do same but opposite to last time. So this time we're gonna cross our left foot over our right. Then we're gonna bring our arms over towards the right side. And we're gonna cross the left arm over the right. Keep your head between your arms and allow yourself to stay here in child's pose. The pose where you cannot have an ego. If the dying phoenix symbolizes the setting sun, then the rising phoenix symbolizes the dawning of a new and brighter day. At the end of this long night, we will rise wiser, better, stronger, more focused on our life's mission. And we will get to that, but not just yet. There was just a falling, a dying, and now in child's pose, starting anew, planting some seeds. Now the descending part of the journey is necessary, and it seems that it always lasts longer than we would like, or we think that it will. And the old folks call this the time in the ashes. And it's important that we honor our time in the ashes, the time of transition. This time in our ashes is a moment of pause. This moment of not quite yet being sure of where or when this new growth will happen. Our time when we are in the ashes can be challenging, confusing, and messy. When we're in the ashes, we sometimes find ourselves wandering, lost, not sure what action to take, if any at all. That has to be okay. It has to be okay. You can't rush your healing. You can't rush your time in the ashes. It takes the time it takes. To think about moving, we're gonna slowly make our way in the reclining twist. Think about moving, take your time, it's okay. Start to slowly come up onto all fours and then turn yourself around so that you're lying on your back. Take your time, it's okay, you can take time. Once you come down onto your back, we want to just move the butt a little bit over, this time towards the right side, and then bring your knees over towards the left turn your hand and look over towards your right fingertips. Stay here and breathe here and allow yourself to open. Into the fire of your belly, breathe in big, create space inside. Allow this time to have meaning for you, to have meaning, not doing anything, but just being here has meaning. Just being is enough. And then from here, start to think about moving slowly, taking your time. Take your time, slowly, slowly. Start to move, and we're gonna slowly, when we're ready, move into a seated position so you can sit on the floor, either in easy pose with your knees open wide, or sitting on top of your feet, or you might want to get a little cushion or a block and sit in what we call hero's pose or heroine's pose. This is entirely up to you, but find a way of sitting that works. I do recommend hero's pose for what's next. We're about to fly a little bit to open up the wings of the phoenix bird. If you are opting for a hero's pose, you can take your block and just put it underneath you. You might need two, you might need a cushion, whatever way works best for you, but just so that you can sit and open up the front of your thighs. But this will also really just give you more space for your wings on the back. If this is not comfortable and you don't like this at all, you can try Sukhasana. If you don't like sitting on the floor, you can do this sitting in a chair. Just make sure the chair has a very small backrest. Maybe a stool would be best. So from here, we're just going to start to open up, and I really don't mind how you do this. The idea is just that we're flying, we're using our arms to draw wings flying through the air. So just releasing the energy around the upper shoulders and the upper back. Please make sure that you breathe with your movement or move with your breath, whichever one comes first. You can play around with it here, make it your own, do it the way that it feels best. We're going to be here for a few minutes, so just really connect. If you want to close your eyes, that's really cool. If you don't want to close your eyes, that's absolutely perfect. Just keep breathing and flying through the air like the phoenix in the sky. Keep moving, flowing, flying. Keep moving, slow or fast, doesn't matter. The way it feels right for you, keep going a little bit more. Our last few breaths here, our last few soaring wings, connecting with full breath. And let's make this the last one. Beautiful. And then from here, see if you slowly bring your hands to your heart. Take a little moment. And then we're going to make our banana hammock. This is Shavasana on steroids. This is one of my favorite ways to just relax the body. So you're going to need to make yourself a little nest. So I would suggest if you have 4 bolsters, If you don't have bolsters, you can take the backrest of your sofa if you can get those out, or just really big cushions. You can see on the screen how I'm creating my nest, so we want to have propped up underneath the heart. Let the head sort of lean back a little bit. You want to have props underneath your legs so that your knees are supported and your feet are slightly lifted. So you're a banana in a hammock. This is seriously, sincerely, one of my most favorite yin yoga or restorative yoga positions. Find your banana hammock, build yourself a support, set up your support, and then find your breath again. So let's reconnect again to the phoenix. The phoenix that represents this enduring sense of hope and redemption. Because the phoenix is reborn from its own death. The phoenix represents the archetype of regeneration. There is life after death. There is resurrection from the ashes. There is ultimately an awakening. This is the ascending journey. Through the transformational cycle process, we are reborn to live again. And so it is a process of renewal. We have to descend in order to ascend. We have to descend first, and maybe more than once. Through this transformational process, we are reborn anew to live again and again and again. So this renewal stage is also important because it represents a recycling and an interruption of the status quo. The purifying fire burns the path for the awakening to take place. And just like yoga is a process of personal transformation, the myth of the rising phoenix is the myth of metamorphic renewal, the birth of self, and ultimately our transformation. Ask you again, when you're lying here, to relax fully and deeply, to find trust in the process, to find trust in the experience, to find trust in the universe, to find trust in yourself, Trust and surrender. Submit, warrior. Submit. For the next 5 minutes, allow yourself to surrender. Submit. Step down from the fight. Retreat from the battlefield. Take this time. Take this time to be in the ashes. phoenix. It is time to rise. Take your time. Slowly feel into yourself again wherever you went. Come back to your body. Use your breath to breathe your way back home. Find your hands and your feet, your fingers and your toes, and little by little start to ease your way out of your banana hammock. The other option, of course, is that you stay here. Maybe you feel like you need to stay here. Stay here then. This is on your time. I'm not going anywhere. If you are not going anywhere, feel free to stay as long as you need to in your banana hammock. Ready to end the class now. See if you come into a seated position. Take a little time just to connect with your energy body again. You might want to do a little sweep. So taking your arms out to the sides of your body and drawing the energy up and just clearing your energy field, flying for one last time like the phoenix bird in the sky. Bring your hands to your heart. Bow your head to your heart. Thank you so much for practicing yoga with me today.